Hi guys, and welcome back to this series of videos. We're going to be doing a CBF 1000 Honda as a winter project, and let me just tell you first of all a little bit about the bike. I knew the bike, I've known the bike for some time. I've known it for about 11 years. 11 years ago my other half bought the bike as her own bike after liking my one at the time. And she sold the bike 2 years later after having done about 4,500 miles on it to a friend of mine called Steve. Now Steve likes to paint, likes to wash painted surfaces, doesn't like to service a bike. It's not that he doesn't like to do it, it's just that it's not on the top of his priority list. So the bike needs a wee bit of work. I bought it as a project, he sold it to me as a project. We're going to do some stuff that is definitely needed, and we're also going to do some stuff which I want to do while the bike is stripped down. The bike is in reasonable overall condition. It has been laying down on both sides but at a standstill. He's a short chap. It's never been serviced in those 9 years, so we're looking at doing oil filter and oil, air filter, plugs, check the valve clearances. We're also going to do fork oil. We're also going to change the clutch lever and the brake lever for aftermarket shorter items. We're going to fit some Hell or similar braided lines. We're going to do the front wheel bearing, the swinging arm bearing, the rear wheel bearing, steering head bearing. We're also going to paint, or have painted probably, the swinging arm and the fork legs, and some other bits and bobs too. So let me just turn around and we'll show you the bike. So superficially the bike doesn't actually look that bad. You can tell just about there, downpipes, front of the engine, centre stand, side stand, it's all very, very grotty. As I say, my friend Steve knew that that was the case. He wasn't one for getting in about, you know, the nooks and crannies, but that's okay. There are some marks similar to what you can see here in the paintwork, but nothing that won't touch in with a touch-up pen and then, you know, polish up, and yeah, it'll still be there obviously, but it's not going to be terribly noticeable. It's certainly not going to be something that I'm going to be overly concerned about. I've taken a notion to wanting a bike that doesn't cost me anything really to have here in the garage. My mileage now is a lot less than it used to be. It used to be up around 10 to 15,000 miles on average, but I've, you know, for example, I've done in the past 42,000 miles on my bike in 1 year. For a few years running it was around about 20, 22, but I suppose on average over the last 24 years it's been around about 10 to 15, 10 to 12, maybe something like that. But I've always had new bikes, or nearly new bikes, many BMWs, a few Hondas, but more recently 1200 GSs, 1200 RTs, K16 GTs, S1000 XR SE Sports, Versus 1000, that kind of idea. I'm quite large. I'm around about 280 pounds for my American friends, and which in English money is around about 19 stone. I'm 6'3.5", so I like a bike to be an upright bike. I don't like sports bikes. And so I'm quite happy to have this bike to work on the off season, and to then know that it's all done and done properly by the time the clocks change, spring forward in spring, and then we're good to go. I intend to take it abroad again next year. I've done a few foreign trips all over the place. This will be the first time for a while I've taken a used bike, so I'll have some cover, but there'll be more on that later. Anyway, so as I was saying earlier on, we're going to do front wheel bearing. We're going to change the front pads. We're going to change the front brake lines and the rear brake lines, rear brake pads. But if I can just get a wee bit closer down here, you'll see that, I mean, it's not terrible, but you know, cosmetically the bike needs a bit of fettling, a bit of tidying up. You can see the centre stand is more rust than it is paint, so that will come off. That's the plan at least, and I think what we'll do is we will get that blasted and powder coated at the same time as the swinging arm, which I'll show you just in a wee second, and at the same time as the fork legs, which, as you can see, the light's not terribly good, but they are quite pitted. So quite a lot to do. The bike itself is a 2008 model Honda CBF 1000. I had brand new Honda CBF 1000 on a 10 plate, so 2010. It was a fantastic bike. It was in white. One of my considerations actually for this bike are to remove all the painted surfaces, get it painted, get the decals from Honda and swap it over. And following on from what I said earlier on about going touring on it and being my only bike and so on and so forth, it does come with the Honda official top box, you know, genuine top box and panniers, so that's also good. Coming down here again, you know, as you can probably see, it's not that bad. It will clean up nicely. A stainless bolt kit, perhaps a series of stainless Jubilee clips to replace some of the ones on the coolant pipes and so on and so forth might be in order. A right good clean once I'm finished working on it, and you'll maybe not see terribly well, but in there the swinging arm and the shock, pardon me, are tatty. So yeah, the shock will probably get replaced. I've already looked at a Hagen shock, perhaps with a preload adjuster, but possibly just the cheaper option of the new shock without it. Swinging arm, like I mentioned, will get repainted and the stickers put back on. Probably get some laser alignment when I'm at the stage of getting back on the road. Tyres are Michelin Pilot Road 4s, which I like. I would probably have Pilot Road 5s, but they are actually in pretty good order, so I'll just keep them on for just now until they're done. So yeah, chain and sprocket, or sprockets rather, looks probably recoverable, I would say. A good clean, some brake cleaner and some lube and an adjustment should be all that's required, I think. There we go, a bit better light. Sprocket actually looks okay, as I say. You can see there the tax disc just underneath the silencer. You know, Steve's a really good friend, but I think that maybe tells you all you need to know about the fact that, you know, he doesn't gonna see that stuff perhaps. So let's crack on and do the first thing on my list, which is the air cleaner. Let's get it changed. Okay, so let's get going doing the air filter removal and swap over on this 2008 Honda CBF 1000. Fairly straightforward job, so let's get straight in. Okay, so this is the near side of the bike, so the left hand side of the bike. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking off this cover here. You can see the airbox is just here. This is the airbox here. So we're going to take off this bolt here, and up here it just pops off. It's like a rubberized press stud, and behind that we'll have, I think, 3 or 4 screws for the airbox. That's one of them just there, you can see, and then we'll get straight into it there. Okay, so now that we've got that side cover off, I think we've got, from memory, we've got 3 screws. We have one there, just Phillips screws, one there, and then one up, where are we? Here. Not the most professional, I'm sure you'll agree. My great big meaty finger. But yeah, so let's crack on. We'll get those 3 off, and we'll see where that leaves us. I'm fairly sure that's it. I think we've maybe got to disconnect a hose, but we'll see what happens. Now this cover is now off, you will see, if I just pull that back, it's not going to be terribly easy to see, but there is. So that's the cover and the 3 screws that held it on off. If I go in behind here, you'll see this shut-off valve, and there's the hose there. Now if you read the manual, it says that you've got to take that off, but there's no reason why you just can't hold it there, pull out the air cleaner and put the other one back in, and then reverse the process. So that's what we're going to do. Let's take out the old one, have a look at it, and then unbox the new one. Okay, so we've got the old and the new air cleaner here. It doesn't actually look that bad. There is quite a, you know, a film of dirt, if you like, but you know, not too bad. The bike has done almost 15,000 miles, so I would say it's probably what you would expect for that mileage, I would think. The biggest difference, I would say, is not actually in how they look, although you can clearly see that this high flow filter, not genuine Honda, but this high flow filter is red inside, where the other one is not, and you can also see the differences in the rubber seal. But the biggest difference is, without any shadow of a doubt, is the weight. Not massive, not a massive difference in weight, but you know, different enough to definitely feel. So let's get this new filter back in. That's the first job ticked off the list. Okay, so that's it all back together. Simple job. You know, 1 bolt, 3 screws, £15 for your air filter, and you know, done in 5 minutes, probably less. If you have, if your filter doesn't look that bad, then obviously you can. If you've got a compressed air line, you can just blow it out. But you know, really, for the price of a filter, just change it. It doesn't need to be genuine. Just get something like I did, for example, from High Flow, and that's you sorted. So you know, it's the one of the main things that your engine is really relying upon. So make sure it's done. Right, okay, and we'll see you next time. I'm not sure yet what we'll be tackling next time. Probably an engine oil and filter change. So time to get mucky once we get that on the go. Many thanks. See you later. Bye bye.